بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Where's my pen? Yes. Okay, let's start with the homework. This was the homework, correct? This was yesterday's homework.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, as a compilation of useful details, a weekly magazine commends itself in several respects. So through aquaculture or fishing farming, more than 500 million tons of fish are produced each year.
Here.
Each year. Thank you. The legal system has much safeguards to protect the right of a defendant to an imperial jury, as an impartial jury.
Many.
Many.
The system bookstore, the mystery bookstore, was largely a phenomenon of the last decade. A phenomena. I'm sorry, I read it correct, huh? A phenomenon.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yes. No.
The Song of Hiawatha by Longfellow tells the story of the Indian heroism who married Minnehaha.
So heroism should be hero.
Hero, the Indian hero. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun.
Planet?
Planet, yes. It's one planet. The sycamore has broad leaves with a large amount of pointed teeth. A large
Number.
First of two such investigation requires
Your investigations. You said the correction.
Investigations. A quantitative analysis using both the computer and the quantitative techniques are used. Is used because it's one quantitative analysis. To enter the FBI National Academy, an application must be between the ages of blah blah blah. And
the age.
An applicant. The application is, the application, but the person who applies is called an applicant.
Applicant, yes.
Presidential space held every 4 years on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. Presidential
Elections are.
Thank you very much. Studies of carcinogenesis in animals can provide data on human susceptibility. Differences. Thank you. Because it's a prepositional phrase. You cannot have a verb here. Number 3, those who favor the new law say that the present law does not set spending limits on gifts on politicians, nor
does it limit.
Version. The population of the earth is increasing at a tremendous rate and out of control.
They have become
out of control. Well, maybe, but then we would need a comma before end. So we have subject and the verb. So here it's a compound structure. We would need a comma before end, correct?
So soon will be.
And are soon going to be, we cannot use are because the population is singular. So we cannot use are. And soon will be out of control. Yes. And soon will be out of control. Here it's not a compound structure. And the only reason why we couldn't take A is that we don't have a comma before end. Okay. Number 5, starting in 1811, traders and manufacturers were more easily able to send goods upriver in pace, provided the necessary power to counteract the flow of the waters.
In steamboats, okay.
In steamboats, provided, it means on the condition that if the necessary power to undertake in steamboats provided the necessary power, no, it will be a problem here. Wait a minute. Traders and manufacturers were more easily able to send goods upriver in.
Maybe that steamboats.
In that provided the necessary power to counteract. No, this mistake, this question has a mistake, because after provided we must have a subject and a verb, and here we don't have a verb after provided. Okay, so this has a mistake. Forget it. Okay, number 6. Temperature indicates on a barometric thermometer by the amount that the strip length. What do you think?
A, indicated.
Indicated temperature, which is indicated on the thermometer, blah blah blah. Yes, thank you. Many of the food consumed by penguins consists of fish, blah blah blah. What do you think?
Many should be replaced with much.
Yes, thank you very much. Why? Because what?
Because the fish is uncountable.
Yes, thank you very much. Uncountable. Much. Before the newspaper became widespread, a town crier has walked through blah blah blah.
Had walked.
Had, why?
I think
because we have before present that is coming present past simple.
Yes, we have became also, and we must have tense consistency here. Okay, so it needs to be in the past. So perfect past. It happened first, remember? It happened first. All of NASA's manned spacecraft project are headquartered. Projects, thank you very much. Fungi cause more serious plant disease than do other parasites. More plant?
Diseases.
Yes, with plural. Than do other parasites. Okay. We didn't have more homework, correct? We stopped here. Subject and yeah. Okay. We said before English is a word order language. Okay. And we said word order in English decides on what? Decides on meaning. It decides on everything. Word order is the most important parameter. Is the most important variable in all. Yes. Most important variable that decides meaning in a sentence. Okay, so for example, when we say the cat ate the rat, this example is very famous in English grammar. It means the cat devoured the rat. The rat was eaten by the cat. Okay, the meal was what? The rat. But when we say the rat ate the cat, we mean the absolute opposite. It means that the rat is the one who did eating, is the one who ate the cat. How did we know that? Simple, it's word order. Okay, so in English, we have subject and then verb, and then of course we can have object. Object, of course, in English sentences, it's optional, it's not necessary. Depends on the kind of verb. If the verb is transitive, then we must have an object. If the verb is intransitive, we cannot have an object. Okay, but this is the word order that English should be laid out. The subject comes before the verb and the object comes after the verb. And there are something called subject pronouns, the pronouns that would do as subject, okay? It means they come before the verb, like what? Like I, like you, he, she, it, we, they. And there are object pronouns. Object pronouns, it means pronouns that come after the verb. And this is the only variable. I mean, nothing else controls meaning. If it comes before the verb, then we need the subject pronoun. If it comes after the verb, then we need an object pronoun. Me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Okay? And one common mistake we see is misusage of object and subject pronouns. Like, for example, when you say my friend and me went to the gym and exercised, for example. This sentence is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because before the verb, what do you need? A subject pronoun. Me is an object pronoun, so that it should be my friend and I went to the gym, not my friend and me, and vice versa. For example, you can say, my mother made a cake for my brothers and I. Now here we have after the preposition, for is a preposition. Prepositions, we need an object pronoun. You cannot have a subject pronoun. Then it cannot be my brothers and I. It has to be my brothers and here.
Yes,
Any
clear.
Yes, clear.
Okay, Sally gave the book to John. Okay, of course, the differences are in pronouns like I and me. You is consistent. He and him. Okay, she and her. It is consistent. We and us, and they and them. Okay. So I want you to pay attention to the differences.
Doctor, I have questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I say my friend and myself went to play basketball?
Yes, but it's not very formal.
Okay.
Yes, it's a matter of stress. It's a matter of stress, but it's better when you say my friends and I, blah blah blah. And of course, in English, you don't say I and my friends. In English, you have to start. You have to make yourself by the end. My friends and I, not I and my friends. Don't ask me why. This is how it is. Okay. Look at this example. Him and the girl are going. It should be he and the girl are going. The gift was intended for you and I, not for you and me. Okay. Take 1 minute. Look at these questions and try to guess if they are right or wrong. They're correct or incorrect. Okay, let's check together. Perhaps you would like to go to the seminar with they.
Them?
Okay. The mother took her son to the doctor's office because he was feeling sick.
Correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Is subject and he comes before. Okay, I didn't know that you and her were working together. That you and
she.
yes,
I think
She, yeah.
were is the verb. Okay, and this is the subject. You and she. In fashion, all you and her. We cannot do this. Okay. She did not buy the sweater because it had a small hole in it.
correct.
Correct. The man leading the seminar gave me all the information I needed to make a decision.
Correct.
The cords connecting the computer to its printer need to be replaced before them were done.
Incorrect. Should be they.
They. Thank you. He is going to the party with you and me, if you do not mind.
Correct.
Correct.
Incorrect.
Why incorrect? he, subject. With, after with, we need what? We need objects,
Objects.
pronouns.
Yes, okay.
So correct. You and her ought to return. Ought to. You and?
She.
Thank you very much. Distinguish possessive adjectives and pronouns. Type. We have possessive adjective and we have possessive pronouns. Okay. What is the difference between possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns? An adjective normally describes what? When you say an adjective in general, very general. When you say, for example, he is a good boy. Good describes what? Nouns. So adjectives, generally speaking, describes nouns. Okay. So an adjective, a possessive adjective, it means it comes before noun. Or noun. Like for example, when you say my book. Like when you say my book. Her father. Okay, when I say, for example, his car. Okay, when I say your class. So generally speaking, after all these possessive pronouns, we have what? I'm sorry, possessive adjectives, we have a noun. But there are some things called possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns, they are not followed by anything. Like for example, when you say it's mine, you cannot say it's mine book. It's mine and that's it. Okay. When you say, for example, this is hers, that's it. You cannot say hers father, for example. His. Okay, it's common. Yours. Yours. Is this yours? Asking a question, holding something I found. Is this yours? Okay. And mind you, it's not called your. It's not your, it's your, open O, your, and yours. Okay. So is this part clear? Is this point clear? After possessive adjectives, we must have a noun, must be accompanied by a noun, as you see, my, your, his, her, its, our, their. And after possessive pronouns, mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Afterwards, we do not have anything. Okay. Here? Any questions?
No.
Okay, could you do questions 1 to 10?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it together. Number 3, Mary and Mark invited their parents. What do you think?
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Their
parents. Guys, somebody is writing on the screen. Please do not write on the screen. Only I write. Only I write on the screen, not only me write, huh? Correct? When my roommate paid her half of the rent, I paid mine.
That's correct.
correct.
Correct. All students need to bring their own pencils.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Their
All her
There's
secretaries. Yes, thank you. All her secretaries are working late tonight to finish her report.
Incorrect.
Correct.
What's incorrect? What's incorrect about it?
Her report should be them report.
Okay, it's her reports, the manager's report.
Ah, okay, so it's correct.
It's okay. So the horse trotting around the track won its race a few minutes ago.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. Before the report is finalized, the information in the
Correct.
notes and hour must be proofread or proofed.
Correct.
Again,
Their notes.
and
Hours.
hour
Hours.
and hours. Yes,
And hours.
and hours. She worked all day cooking food and making decorations for her son's birthday party.
Correct. Correct.
Correct. The weather in the mountain this weekend will be extremely cold, so please take yours heavy jackets.
Your
Correct.
heavy jacket.
Correct.
Yes. Check pronoun reference.
Your heavy jacket. Yours only without heavy jacket?
Okay, please take yours, or it can be your heavy jacket. Both are correct. Okay. Now just make sure pronouns reference pronouns agree with the nouns they refer to. For example, if you are using they should not refer to something singular. If you are using, for example, him, it should.
May you speak it again because the voice is not clear, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll mute everyone. Just a second. Unmute. Oh. Okay. Now make sure the pronouns agree with the nouns they refer to. Okay. For example, they must refer to something plural. He must refer to something animate, human being, and male and singular. She must refer to a human being, singular, and female. Okay. So make sure pronouns agree with the nouns they refer to. Okay. For example, look at this sentence. Everyone, we said before, everyone is always singular. We took this before, correct? Everyone, always singular, must give their name. Or how should it be? Everyone must give his name or her name, but not their name. The boys will cause trouble if you let them. Okay? Now, can you look at these questions 1 to 10 and decide if they're correct or incorrect? Okay, let's do it together. Some friends and I went to see a movie, and afterwards we wrote a critique about them.
That's correct.
About it.
About it.
About it.
We wrote a critique about the movie.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, you are welcome to discuss it with me before you try to resolve them. To resolve it. Thank you. I know you had a terrible time last week, but you must try to forget about it.
Correct.
Who is it?
Correct.
Yes. Okay, thank you. At the start of the program, each student needs to see his advisor about his schedule.
Correct.
Correct. But this sentence, if you write a sentence like this in an IELTS writing, or if you speak a sentence like this, if you produce a sentence like this in an IELTS speaking test, you will penalized. You will be penalized. Why? Because here each student, the student can be male or female. So you should say his or her about his or her schedule. Okay. In spite of its small size, these video recorders produce excellent tapes.
Produces.
Produce.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
It's
Incorrect.
it's incorrect. Could you find the mistake?
Their small size.
They're a small size.
Thank you very much. There, because video recorders, we said before, remember the dangling modifier mistake, the dangling modifier issue? We said before, this is the modifier, okay? It has to be excellent. I'm sorry, it has to be consistent with the subject that comes afterwards. So the subject here is plural. It should be exactly the same. Whatever the situation, you should reflect profoundly about them before coming to decision.
About it.
About it. Thank you very much. About it. It's one situation. The people I admire most are those who manage to solve their own problems.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. If anyone stops by while I'm at the meeting, please take a message from them.
Stop.
Please take a message.
Stop.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone is singular?
Him or her. Him or her.
From him or her. Thank you very much. From him or her. Anyone is singular, and the S here stops is correct. Why? No problem here. Okay. I'll give you a minute to look at questions 1 to 10. Could you do it? Could you do it? Okay, let's do it together. Helicopters are being used more and more in emergency situations because of its ability to reach out for the way place, out of the way places.
Incorrect.
Correct.
Their ability.
Because of their ability. Thank you very much. Their helicopters, their ability. The worker was fired by the chemical company refused because he's refused. What do you think?
He refused.
He refused.
Correct.
Yes, we need here a
Refused.
subject pronoun. A subject pronoun. If you have car trouble while driving on the freeway, you should pull your car over to the side of the freeway and wait for help.
If you have a car trouble or car troubles.
No, it's okay. Trouble can be
I think it's correct.
correct.
But there's no
Correct.
a car trouble or.
Trouble can be uncountable.
Okay, but we say car troubles as well.
Yes, but it can be car trouble. I mean, it can be uncountable. Trouble can be uncountable.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Administration will not install. Some nouns can be countable and uncountable. I mean, it's okay. The administration will not install the new security system because they cost so much.
It
Incorrect.
costs.
It costs.
It costs.
Thank you very much. It costs. Some parents prefer to send their children to private schools because they believe the children will be better educated.
Believed.
Actually, them children.
Because send their children, correct, to private schools because they, parents, believe, correct, the children will be better educated. What's wrong about it? The air traffic controller was not blamed for the accident because he had strictly followed the correct procedures.
I said correct.
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 The new student has been assigned to work on the project with you and I. With you and?
Me.
And me.
Many different kinds of aspirin are on the market, but their effectiveness seems to be equal.
There.
There. You must bring a tent and a sleeping bag for your trip to the Sierras.
Correct.
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 Why are you afraid when you say about sentences? It's correct, no problem. Each of the team members had their new uniform.
Correct.
Each, we said before.
His or her.
Yes, each, always what? Singular. Okay. His
Singular.
or her. Okay. Problem? Problem?
No.
Questions?
No.
Okay, I want you to do this as homework. Okay, and this also as homework. Okay, problems with adjectives and adverbs. Now, this is very important. And this is a very important concept in grammar. In grammar, adjectives always, as we said before, adjectives describe what? Adjectives describe
Nouns.
nouns. Generally speaking, modify adjectives, define nouns. Like, for example, when you say, she is a professional writer.
Teacher.
Here, professional describes the word writer, okay? And that's why it is adjective, because writer is. Okay, so adjectives modify nouns. When you say, for example, Jack is smart. Look at the word smart. Smart describes what? Describes which part of the sentence? Jack. Jack is a noun. And then smart is what? Is an adjective. Clear? But when you say, for example, Jack works smartly. Okay. Now, smartly describes works, which is a verb. So what describes verbs? Adverbs. Okay. Adverbs describe what? Verbs. So adverbs describe verbs. Describe what else? When you say, for example, Jack is smartly professional. So professional is an adjective, correct? Professional is an adjective, correct? And smartly describes professional. He's professional in a smart way. So adverbs also describe adjectives. Okay? So what I want to say is adjectives modify nouns, only nouns, but adverbs modify what? Adverbs modify verbs and adjectives and also adverbs. Okay? So far, so good? So far, so good? So adverbs describe or modify verbs. Can you say, for example, Trika was a good, for example, player. Is this sentence correct? This is correct because good describes player. Player is a noun, and good is an adjective. Correct? So this sentence is correct. But you cannot say Trika plays or played soccer good. This sentence is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Because good here should be describing played, which is a verb. Good is an adjective. Adjectives cannot describe verbs. So what is the adverb of good? Goodly? No, the adverb of good is what? Is well. So Trika plays soccer well. It means Trika was a good player. So far, so good? So far, so good?
Okay. Yes, okay.
Any problem so
Yes.
far? Any problem? Now we understand the difference between an adjective and an adverb?
Yes.
Adjectives modify what? Nouns. Adverbs modify verbs. Generally speaking, adverbs are adjectives plus ly. Generally speaking, but this is not always. I mean, this is not 100%. Adverbs are adjectives plus ly. Like, for example, smart is an adjective. How can we make it an adverb?
Smartly.
Smartly. Okay. Bad is an adjective. How can we make it an adverb?
Plus ly.
Badly.
Badly. Okay. High
High.
is an adjective. Highly.
Highly.
Clear? So generally speaking, adverbs consist of adjectives plus ly, but this is not always. Some adverbs are irregular. Like, for example, fast. What is the fast is an adjective. What is the adverb of fast? Fast. It's the same. There is no word in English such as fastly. مفيش كلمة اسمها fastly في English. Early is an adjective, and also early is an adverb. Hard is an adjective, and hardly, and and hard also is the same adverb. Hardly is another adverb with a completely different meaning. Hardly means negative, but hard means, hard. Okay. So look at these irregular cases. For example, you can say, my father is a fast driver. Here, fast is what? Fast is what here?
Adjective describe my
Adjective.
father.
And also you can say, can you see this tiny writing? My father drives fast. So fast
It is a driver, not a river.
sorry? Oh yeah, driver. I don't know, yeah. والله أنا سامع أذان. ما شاء الله. طيب لما أقول I have an early meeting. Sorry, you will have to bear with my bad handwriting. When you say I have an early, here, early is what? Here. Adjective.
An adjective.
But you say, for example, I woke up early. Early here is what?
Adverb.
Adverb. Point so far so clear? But again, as I said, the rule of thumb is that adverbs are adjectives plus ly.
I think adverb describes the verb and the adjective describes the name. That's it.
Adjectives describe or modify nouns, and adverbs describe adjectives and verbs and adverbs also. Okay?
Yeah.
Adverbs describe what or modify what? Verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Clear?
Yes.
Clear?
But what about hard and hardly?
Hard. A hard, the same adjective and the adverb. Okay? He studied hard. He studied hard. Is this an adjective or an adverb?
Adverb here.
Why? Because it describes the verb studied, correct?
Correct, yes.
And it can be also an adjective. This was really hard. Now look at hard here. It describes what?
The test.
Test. So it's what?
Yes, adjective. But I saw before hardly.
And really is what? Really is an adverb. Why? Because it describes the adjective. So
Yeah.
hard can be adverb, and it is the same as what? The adjective. Hardly has a completely different meaning. When I say I hardly or he hardly studied, look at the same example. He hardly studied. It means what? الناس اللي بيحضروا معانا من زمان.
He never studied.
Thank you very much. It means he did not study. So he studied hard means he studied really good, really well, I'm sorry. When you say he hardly studied, it means he did not study. So it has a completely different meaning. Got it?
Is it hardly? Does it mean that he didn't study completely? I thought that it maybe means that he studied but not enough.
No. Hardly means what? Means negative. Hardly adds the meaning of negative. And when we start the sentence with hardly, what do we do? الناس اللي قدام معانا. Hardly.
Inversion.
Yes. So hardly.
Did he study?
Thank you very much. Means he did not study. Hardly means not. Hardly means negative. Any questions? Any more questions? Any more questions?
No.
Yeah, it's great.
No, thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Look at the again. Recent adjective, adverb recently. Public adjective, publicly. Evident adjective, adverb evidently. So this is the rule as we said. Okay, she is a beautiful woman. Beautiful is an adjective and woman is a noun. She is beautiful. Again, beautiful adjective. She sings beautifully. Because it describes the verb sings. She is a beautifully dressed woman. Dressed is an adjective, and beautifully here describes the adjective, so it's an adverb. The adverb describes also adjectives, as we said. She is truly, beautifully dressed. So we said adverbs describe adverbs also. Truly is an adverb because it describes another adverb, which is beautifully, and it describes the adjective dressed. Clear? They were seated at a largely...
Please, thank you so much.
Most welcome. Largely table. Can we say largely table? No, we can't. Table is a noun. We need an adjective before, not an adverb. The child talked quick. Quick is an adjective, and the adverb is quickly. Okay, and so on and so forth. Now look at
For this information lately, I saw two sentences, and yeah, I didn't get what's the difference between them. One of them is he is really a fun person, and another one is you are a fun person.
So what's the
He
point?
He used really before the adjective.
Yes. And what do we have before adjectives? What is used to describe adjectives?
we use adverb.
So really is
So,
an adverb.
So he used really before the adjective.
Yes, which is very true, very correct. It's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, now look at questions 1 to 10.
So I'm thank you for this. I've been searching for this information.
Oh, thank you. Look at questions 1 to 10 and try to do them. You have 1 minute. Okay, let's do it together. He was driving an expensively sports car.
Correct.
It's incorrect. Should be expensive.
Expensive sport.
Answer.
Okay. There is a special program on television this evening.
Correct.
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 She was chosen for the leading part because she sings so well.
Correct.
The car was not complete.
Incorrect. Should be completely.
Completely ready.
Yes. Because it is an adjective and we need an adverb to describe the adjective. Very good. It was difficult to believe.
Complete.
Completely, yes, completely. It was difficult to believe that what we read in newspaper was a truly story. Was a true story. Yes, true. Points will be subtracted for each incorrect answered question.
Correct.
Try again. Answered question. This is an adjective, correct? Answered is an adjective. What do we need before the adjective?
Answered is adjective, so we can incorrectly answer.
Incorrectly answered. The production manager quietly requested a completely report of the terribly incident.
Complete.
Correct.
Yes, Amira, complete report, a complete report of that what? Of the terrible
incident.
How about quietly? Is quietly correct or incorrect?
No, it's correct.
That's correct.
I think correct. The manager.
Yes, good, very good. The children finished their homework quickly so that they could watch television.
Correct.
Correct.
Any problems?
No.
Okay, this is the last thing we do today. In English, we have something called linking verbs. الverbs يا جماعة in English a little bit from Arabic because in Arabic verbs must contain meaning. Okay. زي ما تقول مثلا أكل ضرب فعل. But in English some verbs only function as linking verbs. يعني إيه linking verbs? They only link subject with the object. For example, when you say I am a teacher. M here, what is the function of M? Only linking. It connects I with a teacher. And they are both the same thing. I is the same as a teacher. Only a matter of linking. Okay, guys, please, if you're not talking, mute yourselves. Like for example, when you say you look nice today. Look is a linking verb. Why? Because it connects you with nice. Only it connects you with nice. There is no action. There is no effect between you. For example, when you say I ate pizza. Ate a linking verb? No, because I am not pizza. Okay, they are not the same thing. And I affected pizza. Some action happened. So this is not a linking verb. Okay? Linking verbs, it means the subject is the same as the complement, the same as what comes after the verb. Okay, and the verb only links between them. This is the function of the verb. You look nice. The food smells great. So the food is the same as great. So after these verbs, after these linking verbs, we use what? We use adjectives. Why? Because great here describes what? The food smells describes the food. Because nice here describes look or you describes you. A teacher here describes am or describes I. It describes I. So we need what? An adjective. When you say, for example, she feels sick. Who is sick? The sick describes feel or describes she? She. So after all these linking verbs, we use what? We use an adjective. Okay. Any problem? He seems nice. Okay. So this is example of linking verbs. These are some linking verbs like appear, be, and we said be means what? Was, were, is, are, am, be, been, being. Okay. Become, feel, look, move, seem, smell, taste. All these verbs are called linking verbs. Okay, and after linking verbs, we use what? We need an adjective. Okay, clear? Any questions?
No.
Okay, this will be the last thing we do today. Just look at these questions and just try to do them. I'm sorry, it seems you have exceeded the time limit also. This is the last thing we do today. Take 1 minute. Okay, let's do it together. After she drank the lemonade, the cake tasted too sweetly to her. Tasted?
Sweetie.
Sweetie or sweet? Sweet. Throughout dinner, sweetie ديت when you call your wife or something, sweetie, it means like sweetheart. Throughout dinner, we were bored because he spoke incessantly.
Correct.
Correct. We were bored. Bored is an adjective after the verb be.
So sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Linking verse our linking verse cannot come in present continuous.
They can come in present continuous. Why not? Linking verbs is something and state verbs is something else.
Because I remember some kind of verb that cannot come in present continuous.
We're not talking here about state verbs. What you are talking about is called state verbs. This is not state verbs. We're talking about okay. State verbs cannot become in present continuous, but but linking verbs can become in present continuous. Ms. Shayma, you have a question? You've raised your hand.
Okay.
Shayma. Shayma. Hello.
She didn't activate her mic.
Oh, she didn't activate her mic. Okay, you can type it in the chat. Okay, number Yes, and we said after the linking verb, word is an adjective and spoke is a verb and it needs an adverb afterwards. So this sentence is correct. Sam felt terribly depressed after the accident. What do you think?
Correct.
Correct. Felt is followed by an adjective, depressed, and terribly describes the adjective. Okay, so this is correct. The neighbor appeared calm in spite of the fact that he's not calm.
Correct.
Correct. Calm is an adjective after the linking verb appear. So this is correct. He looked quite unhappily.
It's incorrect. He looked quietly unhappy.
Quite unhappy. Quite here means quite, which quietly. Quite means
quietly unhappy.
to some extent. Quite is an adverb. Quite is an adverb, and it means to some extent. Quite is different from quietly. Okay.
What's the difference between both of them?
So even quite verbs.
Just a minute. Quite.
I'm happy.
Quite. The E here comes before the T. Okay. And it means calmly. Quite means calm. Quite. She is. For example, the neighborhood is quiet. It is a quiet neighborhood. It means that the neighborhood you are living in is what? Is quiet. No much noise. Okay. And the adverb of quiet is quietly. Okay. Please act quietly. Means you behave quietly. Okay. In a calm way. Clear? There is another word which is different in meaning and different in spelling. Look at the position of the E here, comes before the T. Quiet, with the E after the T, it means to some extent. This is an adverb. It means to some extent. يعني إلى حد ما. مش قوي. She is quite tall. It means she is tall, but not too tall. She is not too tall, but she is not very short. She is not short. Quite tall. كويس؟ فاهمة؟
Okay. Yeah.
دي بقى ما فيهاش quietly، ما فيهاش دي ly. Cannot take ly. Okay؟ لا. Quiet quit لا، ما فيش حاجة اسمها كده. ده مش verb. في حد باعت حاجة على الشات؟ لا، دي مش verb. الverb quit same spelling same pronunciation. quit ده verb تاني، دي حاجة تانية خالص. It's completely different issue. Okay? He looked quite unhappy.
I asked about quit.
ما فيش quit هنا. Quit is a verb like quit smoking. Number 8, Marla jumped up quick when she heard the gunshots.
Incorrect. Quickly.
Quickly, thank you very much. Even though we were not really hungry, the food smelled delicious.
Correct.
Correct. Hungry is an adjective. We described it with an adverb, so this is correct. Smell is a linking verb. We need an adjective after the linking verb, so this is correct. The history course that I took last semester proved more difficultly than I had expected. Proved more difficult.
Incorrect.
Yes, difficult. After prove, we use adjective, not an adjective, not an adverb. Okay. I believe that's enough for today. Thank you very much. We've exceeded the time limit already. I'm sorry for this. Do the homework. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Any questions before we leave? Any questions before we end the meeting?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Really much appreciate your valuable session.
Thank you. See you tomorrow, inshallah, same time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you.